All right, welcome back to the channel. You're watching Tom Trips Out. This is a live stream on my phone. We're in Kampot, Cambodia. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, you should check out the rest of my channel because I make actual videos too with proper camera and music and editing. And once or twice a week I go live like this on my cell phone, and I go for a walk and talk about stuff. Cock-a-doodle-doo. So I've been in Cambodia like 4 years. I'm from Canada, Toronto. And like 3.5 of those, or even more than that a little bit, was all in Phnom Penh. And then just about 3 or 4 months ago, I moved to Kampot, and it's more like out in the countryside. Hey, Fada HD broke clips. What's up? So I'm walking into town. It's like 7:30 right now, something like that in the morning. And we're walking into downtown to get breakfast, and I had a solo gig last night. If you've never seen me, I'm a bass player, but I just started doing solo acoustic guitar stuff to try to get my own gigs, because on bass you gotta, rely on other people to back them up. You can't, but I want to just be able to get gigs on my own. So they had me host the open mic every Friday. There's this big open mic thing, and I was the one, like, they switch up who's hosting it. Anyways, it went really well because a lot of musicians came out. And so then I'm just facilitating. I didn't really have to play too much. I played like 4 songs at the start and like 4 songs at the very end to say goodbye. And the whole 2 hours was like other people playing. Someone saying, yeah, and I'll make better money too, because it's less people, but they don't do that. They'll, often they pay like per person, so you'll get still the same. What you need is like sometimes they have a price for when it's a band. And if you're just a band with 2 people in your band, then that's really good, because they'll pay you the same as if you were 4 people. If it's like Saturday night, sometimes a bar will say, Saturday night, we pay the music this, like 200 or something. And if there's 4 of you, then that's only 50 each. But if you're 2 of you, then it's a lot more. It's double. But when you're solo, they often just give you 30 or 40, especially in Kampot. And every place can be different. The deal, you got to organize the deal when you get the gig. But so this one last night was $30, and I can drink for free beers, and you can eat a meal off the menu too. And so they gave it to me in cash, and I hate having cash. I just did a video about cash actually, so it's not too bad. I have 3 $10 bills, US bills. So I have them with me now, and I'm gonna get breakfast, and then I actually need bed sheets. I want new. When I got my apartment, they gave me a set of all the bedding for the thing, but it looks like it's for a little kid or something. I want to buy like brand new stuff that's my own stuff, and then I can use theirs as a backup or something. And so there's this store in town called like Kampot Hotel Supplies, and so they have all the stuff to supply hotels with sheets and bedding and pillows, everything that would be in a room. So I'm gonna buy like a sheet and 2 pillows. The blanket I have is fine. I just need like a sheet and 2 pillows and maybe 2 pillowcases. And then I can just give that guy. My point of why I'm telling you this is that's how I'll get rid of that cash. Hopefully that stuff costs like $30, and I'll just give it to. 2 pillows and a sheet. So I just hope all three things are like $7.99 each, you know what I mean? And then it'll come just under 30. Then it'll be like 25 or something. And then I'll get change back in reals, and that'll be great. I have some ring pulls on me, so then when my morning and afternoon is done, I can stop by that guest house and get some free beers too. I brought my camera with me, so I might make a video. I just have to think of an idea. The informative videos are doing a lot better for me, like how I explained how cash works, so I just have to think of some topic that's useful information, really broad topic, like, oh, here's how the money works, or here's how this works and that works. And about 3 years ago, when I was first starting the channel, I was doing videos like that too, and I haven't revisited those topics sometimes since then. And now I have like a perspective of someone living here for 4 years, and things change, and so I can revisit some of my old topics of informative videos. It's like just look one up, and then what I've been doing lately is you ask AI, like organize for me like 8 talking points on this idea. And then it'll tell me some stuff, and I'll look at it and I'll be like, I don't like number 3, 4, and 5. Like, give me new ones for that. Or I'll have some ideas in my own head, so I'll say, make it this, 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 and then give me 4 more, and whatever. I like go back and forth with AI till it's got me a good like little cheat sheet of what I'm going to talk about in a video, and then I just wing it. I don't script it, but here's the 8 things I'm going to talk about, and like under each thing there'll be like maybe 2 facts to touch on or whatever. And then I just keep recording myself in little clips, and then I look back at my phone and be like, okay, I'm going to say this, okay, go for it. And I just like turn it on and wing it. So with that kind of style, you can think of a topic, ask AI, and then like 15 minutes later, I'll start filming it. And right now, I don't even know what it'll be. So I don't have to even plan that far ahead. Okay, I'm gonna read your things here. How much you make off videos on average? What do you mean, in a month? Well, it's tough to, you get paid like by how many views on the commercials, and then I also have people supporting. I have a members section where people pay $4.99 a month to get extra videos, and it's called the Tom Trips Out Army, and there's a link below for that, so that contributes to the money. People send like super thanks and things like that to help support me, and then there's just the ads too. I know you just want a ballpark. I'd say, and it starts at like nothing when you first start YouTube. I've been doing it for 4 years now. I'd say just the ads bring me close to 200 a month. And then all the memberships and donations like add on top of that. And then I'm right at the point where I could start to maybe get sponsorships and stuff. And so I'm just waiting for that. Like when a company make a video about their thing, and I had a government program reach out to me actually. There's this, it's hard to explain. They're rolling out a program for like a special 10-year visa here. And it's like only for really rich investors and retiring people. It's called a golden visa. You can like Google it and see or whatever. And there's a marketing team in charge of getting more awareness and all that stuff. And they reached out to me and said they want to ask how much it costs to make a video and all that. So I gave them a quote, and then I never heard back. I wonder if they were hoping I would say it's free or something. but whatever, you can't undervalue yourself. I was very reasonable too. And I do everything for free usually anyway. So it's not that much. I'm saying all this because someone was asking me, how much do I make from videos? The other reason it's tough to tell is because some videos perform about 10 times better than other videos. So then I can't say a number, between those two videos. Like the one, I made a video about where I live, right, where I was walking away from, and that video has over 20,000 views. And then I have other videos that have just 400 views. And so if you're asking me how much money did they make, it's a big difference. It's like 50 times different. Yeah, so just the ads, I'm getting close to about 200 a month, and it's slowly growing if I can make videos that get more views and stuff. And if you guys press like and share and all the stuff. I'm in Kampot. Forget about it. It's asking what city am I in. I live in Kampot. This is like the main big road into town. But it's not far. We're already halfway. It'll be, the whole walk from my house is like 20 minutes or 25 minutes. So we're already halfway. So it's another 10 minutes or something. And hey, if you're interested in teaching abroad, I'll get the info out real quick here for especially people watching this later. I don't want them to have to sit through an hour and a half before I give any info about it. So there's links below in the description if you're interested in moving abroad and teaching in Cambodia or Vietnam too. The same program I'm talking about also does Vietnam. In Vietnam, you have to have a degree. That's the difference. You have to have a degree to stay there long term. So what am I talking about? It's a TEFL program. That's a certificate you need to be certified to teach English. It's important to get a really, legitimate one that's accredited. And AVSE is accredited by the government. And they also, on the way out, they help line you up with your first job, and that's what attracts a lot of people, because it's tough when you land in a new country alone and there's language barrier and you don't know where anything is, and it's nice if someone's helping you out or vouching for you and sending out emails on your behalf and lining up interviews for you and stuff. That's what they do. It's a 4-week program in the country, which is great compared to like doing it at home, like for me, like in Canada or something. You get totally immersed in the culture and you get to practice in front of actual students that are Cambodian, kids and students. You also, they let you try practicing in front of, all age groups from kindergarten even to adult learners. And when I went there, I did it about 3.5 years ago. And my first job coming out, I was a grade 8 teacher for almost 2 years. And then I was growing all my online stuff and playing in bands enough that I was able to stop teaching. But since I stopped, there's been at least one time, especially, where I had to go back and find a job because I was running out of money. It's not like, it's so, my life is so great. You think, oh, wow, you can live off YouTube, but it's not like I'm a millionaire at all. And the way it works a lot of the time, too, is I could have 2 to maybe even 3 months in a row where you make nothing, or like all together for those 3 months, it was like $200. And you're just biting your nails and you're stressing every day. You don't have any guarantee that there's anything coming at all. And then that 4th month, I would get a sum that's like enough to pay for 4 months worth of stuff. Like, so it's like feast or famine. And that's kind of happening to me now. For September, October, I made barely nothing. And then November is like the amount of 3.5 months worth of my, like I'm gonna get a huge November. So the key is I just have to have enough savings so that I can float myself when I have a whole bunch of bad months. So I'm usually about 6 months ahead of myself. But if I get down to just like 3 months of money left in my account, I'll get a job. I don't go all the way to broke. And then I'm just trying to grow all of that, you know? And then again, I'm like able to do it even now. So if it even grew any little bit, it would be awesome. Much easier. Holy shit, what a loud morning. I feel like I'm trying to just explain easy things and I'm shouting into my phone. So annoying. This is like the major junction. This goes down to the new bridge where cars can go across. And then there's another bridge like a kilometer that way, where the 7-Eleven is. And down that road right here is on the left side is the market. Do you want to see that stuff, guys? The market? Mrs. Balboni, do you get bored with low income? Well, it's counterintuitive because I have about 3 times as much disposable income as I did when I was a branch manager in Toronto, because the cost of living is so cheap here. If you take a 6-month snapshot of any 6 months and you average together all of it and what am I making each month, I'm able to pay my bills and save about $350 US every month. And when I lived in Toronto, $350 US is almost like 500 Canadian. There's no way I would have 500 Canadian excess at my living in Toronto. It's like if I was lucky, I would have 150 Canadian like left over to save after everything. And then here I am in a developing country, and I have more like 300 US disposable after paying everything, even going out and everything. What can I put aside to grow is like 250 to 350 every month. It's just mine, as I just explained, my income is very uneven, so you have to take a big average because I'm not getting it regularly on the same date all the time. It could be once every 4 months I get a big, I get a big payday every like 3 or 4 months, and I have to just manage it wisely. Yeah, the cost of living is 10 times cheaper. That's why. Like, I live in a small house and it's $130 a month for my rent. So just put that into perspective. Beers are like a draft is like 75 cents here. And like dinner is like $3 or something. Like everything is so cheap. That's why you can be an artist and be freelance here, and it's great. No stress, no pressure. Without even keeping track, you'll be ahead because it's so cheap you can't get behind. I got lots of playlists on this channel too. Some people, they might navigate away from my channel. They're like, I don't want to hear about this teacher stuff. And that's fine, but I got all kinds of stuff. A lot of people love apartment videos, I've noticed. Doing apartment viewings and the price and all that. And what do you get in the apartment, and people want to see what they're in for if they're going to move here. And I've made many apartment videos, like all the ones I've lived in, and then also when I'm viewing one, like I made one video where I viewed 5 apartments in one video. And so there's a whole playlist called apartment videos or whatever, apartment tours. So maybe you're like, I hate this Tom guy, but I just want to see apartments or whatever. Or there's also same thing, but hotels or whatever. Go check out the playlist. Because then it helps you, you don't have to sift through all the stuff you don't care about. There's like restaurants, there's food, there's a playlist on each little town I've been to. Siem Reap, Battambang, Korong Island. And then, you know, I would say Phnom Penh, but there's no playlist for Phnom Penh because that was my home base for like 3 years. So it's basically all the videos are Phnom Penh unless it's like a special one where I was in Siem Reap for 2 days or something. But oh, people are writing stuff here. Teaching online pays $4 per hour, but I'm not native. What happened to me is I had to go through, it's tough to explain. It's like my boss was facilitating the relationship between me and they were Chinese people that needed tutoring. And there's no way I would ever find these people, and she's connected with them, and so she teams up with like a native speaker like me and finds me students, and she's skimming off the top. So I was getting on that job I was getting 18 an hour, but I never knew what they were charging, but I bet you it was 25, you know what I mean? And so then my boss is just keeping 7 an hour for hooking me up or whatever. And to me, I'm like, fine, if you're gonna give me 18 an hour, that's great. And if you can keep on hooking me up with students, and the well of students just dried up. I stopped hearing from her, and they were often temporary. Like the student would say, like, I have an exam in 3 weeks. So they pay enough money to have a tutor, you know, twice a week for 3 weeks, or maybe every day even. But then that 3 weeks is over, and it's like, that's it, goodbye. And they do their exam, and then I don't hear from them again. Or they have, maybe someone else, they have an interview for a university, but it's in English. So we keep practicing and having a mock interview, and I give them tips and try it again, you know what I mean? And then they'll be comfortable talking about themselves or stuff like that. Or job interview stuff. But my point is, they're not evergreen students. They're like, even from the beginning, you know, from the first day, you know what day they're going to stop. Like, it's like, you know, this is so-and-so, they'll be your student for the next 3 weeks, and then they're done, you know, then that's it. It's like, that happened to me until everyone was done and no one knew anymore. But then my online stuff started picking up again, and so it didn't matter. I was lucky. Yeah, 4 an hour is too low. I would not go below 10. It's not worth me even getting out of bed. Like, and here, what's pretty normal if you have experience is, because you talk to your friends at the bar and like, I got a new job, and whoa, what do you make, and what are they giving you, and you know, maybe your very first job ever could be a little bit lower, but once you have like 1 year experience, the normal, where the heck are we? The normal thing could be like around 15 an hour, 14 or 15 an hour. So that's like 3.5 times what that person was saying. Like if you got a job at a good international school and they gave you a good position and they offer you 15, that's good. You should take, especially on your first job ever. I think my first job ever, if you calculate all the hours, if it's only like $9.75 or something, I was getting $12.50 a month. So if you do 40 hours a week and multiply it all down, it was below 10. But as I said, after that job, I transitioned up to like 15 and then 18. And now this is my job. You're looking at it. Jeff Kravitz says 40 hours a week is too much. Yeah, it wasn't teaching hours, but you're responsible to like be at the school that from 7:30 to 4:30. Like you can go outside and be in the general area, but in case, because if any teacher like has to leave sick or whatever, you have to be around so they can throw you into someone else's class last minute if they need to. So in the whole day, every hour the bell rings and that's the next period. Let's call it the next class, And in a full day, there'll be like 7 periods and also a lunch hour. Something like that. I might be let's just say it quickly, ballpark it. So in that day of 7, there's 7 possible times you could have a class. You would have like 3 or 4. And maybe if you have a day that only has 2 or 3 classes, very light day, then that means later in the week you'll have a day that has like 5 or 6 in one day and you only have 1 spare, but because it has to balance out. But my point is, it's 40 hours a week, but you're teaching only like 25. That can vary too, but that's like a normal average. Like I think I had 24 hours, 24 or 25. And what I mean by that is those are the hours where you're actually standing up in front of your students, and you're doing a class. Because the other 15 hours in the week, you have spare periods and you're doing marking or you're creating a test or you're, doing your lesson plans or whatever. Finding some cool like video you're going to show your class and getting materials and whatever. Getting photocopies done and or if you're done all your stuff, it's like the teacher lounge can be just chilling too or socializing with the other teachers, or you trade stuff. Like someone has a really good worksheet and they send you the PDF and then you're swapping stuff and talking to each other. Tepi Tepi, yes, I like your country. I love Cambodia. Cambodia. We're almost at my noodle spot. Do you guys have ideas on what you want to see a video about? And something in information. People seem to click on that way more, like how I described how the currencies work, or things that people need to know about. And then maybe I can do it today. It'll be well, people have been asking for motorbike rental, and I agree that would be wicked. That'd be an awesome video, but is there a casino in your city or just Sihanoukville? I have to double check. Maybe you guys can Google this because I'm using my phone for this, but very close by there's a place you can go called Bokor Mountain, Bokor. And I've not been up there, so that's why I'm uncertain, but there's like abandoned buildings up there, a big giant hotel, and I think a big giant casino. But I'm so uncertain that it might even be operational. I don't even know. So Google that, and I bet you it'll say there's one on Bokor Mountain, but it's not operational since like 20 years ago or something. It'll say something like that, I bet you. But again, I haven't been there, so it might be a working casino there. But yeah, Sihanoukville's the closest. Or I'm not a casino guy, so I don't know, but very often on the border there's casinos on the borders, and I think we're pretty close to Vietnam from here, so I bet if you took a rip close to any border crossing, there'd be some shady casino there. We're also very close to an island called Phu Quoc. I'm probably saying it wrong. Vietnamese little island. And even in the dating apps, you get people from there because as a crow flies, it's only like 35 kilometers. But it's like a Vietnamese island. And that's actually closer than Sihanoukville. And so there could be a casino there. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Miss Balboni says if you're staying home, you may as well teach like 3 or 4 hours online anyway. Yeah, I've always said that I know you're probably just joining me for the first time, but over the years when this stuff comes up and I ask me about do I like teaching or what would be my ideal like teaching thing? And it's exactly what you said. I would love to teach like early in the morning for like 3 hours and that's it. Can you imagine at like 11 you shut your laptop and you're just done? Like 7:30 till 11 or something like that, you know? And maybe not even every day. Like imagine if that's 4 days a week, 3 days a week or something. But a lot of the online classes take place in the evening. A lot of the opportunities will say, 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. Beijing time, which I think we're pretty much Beijing time. We might be like 1 hour off, but we're like the same. So my perfect little, I would love to do, I wake up and have my coffee and 7:30 till 11. You can't have your little perfect schedule that the students are available at like 7:30 at night. Like, and you could have morning students. It's just way harder. All the demand is in the evening, like most of it. So if you're trying to just only do the morning, you're just making it hard for yourself, I guess, for myself. No thanks. Maybe I should. I could go find him later and you could go find that guy, that tuk-tuk guy later and say, take me to a waterfall or something. Would you guys be into an adventure video like that? Like up on the mountain or the waterfall? Bokor Mountain, my landlord actually, and if you could see him in my video about where I live, he guides us. I film him talking all about the place. But he told me recently he has family coming and they're gonna all go to Bokor Mountain in a car. And he said I could come with them. And so that would be really cool because you'd see how the Khmer people are doing it, and he can speak English really well. So he could explain history and what they're doing and what their tradition and things that they do when they go there. And they'll show you the better spot and stuff like that. Like compared to if I just show up and fumble around myself, like, you know what I mean? So I've been saving Bokor for when that actually happens. I gotta ask him. It was supposed to be soon. It was like a couple of months ago. He said in a couple of months, and now it has been a couple of months. So behind me is where I always get my noodles. Just gonna go over to the shade and we'll do another like 2 minutes. Putting together the noodles and the soup. Good morning from Germany. Oh, hold on. Let me. How's the SMS OTG there? I don't know what that is. Is that like texting? John Paul. Hey Tom, finally managed to catch you live. Could you do a craft beer tour of Kampot? I was there 2 years ago and PP was surprised how much imported craft beer was. Oh yeah, how much it costs. He says he thinks he paid $9 for a can. Wow. Yeah, there is. You could do that. I could do that. It's cheaper than $9, but it can be expensive. I think now it's not $9, but yeah, I could easily see it being $5.50 or something like that, compared to like a 75 cents for a Cambodia. Joseph, I just moved back to the States, Tom. I had issues finding a teaching job there. Really? I've never heard that before. Flew across the world to teach English and could not land a job. It's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know. I've never experienced any trouble or delay or anything. Maybe if you're a non-native speaker, then maybe, but you said USA. You have to really hustle very hard and follow up and send like 10 emails a day. You can't just email one school on your street and then say there's no jobs. But I don't know what you did. I'm sure you looked a lot harder than that. I think I remember your name in my chats a lot, and we were talking about that before you were having trouble. So I know that you were trying for a long time. So I don't know. You're the only story I've ever heard of that. But maybe it's because I'm always interacting with the people coming through AVSE, and they line you up with the job interviews. So it's usually like my experience is like an abundance. Like I would have 3 interviews and I choose which one I want and stuff like that. And then I decided I don't want full-time, so I'm like, you know what, I want to tutor privately part-time. And I go try to find it. I just found, like I always was finding it and getting it. But maybe I'm lucky, I don't know, or sometimes it can be, I don't know what you look like. Sometimes if you're, there could be prejudice for race here a little bit. And so when I'm just a white guy from Canada, then maybe that can work in my favor, but I don't know. I worked with people from all countries and lots of black people and Indian people and South African people. So it shouldn't be a problem. Anyways, sorry that happened to you, man. Okay, next person. Yeah, you said you applied to like 40 schools. Yeah, I remember now that I was talking, that you've been in my lives a lot talking about, I remember that it was a few months you were trying for a while there. Might have been good to do one of those programs like similar to AVSE or the one with AVSE. There's one called Teaching Jobs Abroad program. So if you come here and you already have your TEFL and you're just having trouble navigating the job thing, they have a 9-day program where you get to practice in front of actual classrooms and you brush up on your lesson planning and job interview skills and stuff. And then they line you up with the schools that are in need, and you get job interviews until you land a job. But it's not free, so that's a program there. I have links below to the AVSE program if anyone else is interested in that. But, a lot of people's attitude is I'm not going to pay someone to find me a job, so then you'll struggle, or it's possible you'll struggle. Many people do get their own job. I've even heard of sometimes people in the AVSE program and they do really great and they've completed it and they're in that week where they're going to get job interviews, and AVSE finds them 2 or 3 interviews. And then the student themselves is also just handing out resumes on their own, just to why not, to have yourself trying to find and AVSE looking for you at the same time, you know? And then the job they end up getting is one that they just found themselves. And AVSE had nothing to do with finding them that job, even though AVSE got them maybe 2 other job interviews. Then the person found their own job interview and ended up taking that job. And then they kind of had some resentment, like, oh, I took that AVSE course and then in the end I found my own job anyway. Like, why did I do that course? But it really prepares you well to be a teacher. And that job that hired him, they probably, it's on the resume, right? And they probably called AVSE as a reference. When you're coming here as a brand new teacher and you have no prior teaching experience, there's no one they can call and ask about you. And so you're like the unknown and you're risky. But if you've come through AVSE, they can call and be like, what about this Tom guy? Like, our opening's in grade 4. You were with him the last month and a half. Like, do you think that we should go with him, or would he be not suited for such a young, you know? Then you have, and AVSE will always back you up. And they know anyone coming through there is strong. Okay, I'm gonna move on here. Someone's asking, how hard would it be to find a small studio apartment for $150 a month? That's very easy. Where I live, the studio little bungalows are $110, I think. But I think they're all taken, I'm not sure. It's called Home Don Cam, D-A-U-N, and then K-A-M. And you can find it on Google Maps or Facebook. Home Don Cam, and they're $110, I think, for a tiny bungalow that's a studio. So $150. I even saw it might have been only low season, and now low season's ending, so be aware about that. But during low season, lots of the resorts were having monthly rates because it's low season, and you could get a studio thing like that for $150, and there'd be a swimming pool, and you know, every once in a while they clean your room because it's a resort. It's not like you're just your own apartment, and so it's kind of good because they're upkeeping everything there, and often they include Wi-Fi in that too. But now low season's ending, so I'm unsure. That's why I'm saying beware. Then those prices might only be for the rain season. Because if they can be busy every day with just daily people sleeping there, you know what I mean? They make way more than giving a monthly deal. But if they're empty all the time, they would love to entertain a monthly person, right? So it's like you gotta go check out and negotiate. And then I even saw some studio rooms that look really basic, and it almost looks like the style from the outside is like a rundown motel. Like it's just one building and door, like, you know, each unit just beside each other, like almost like a really cheap motel or something. And they have 3 rooms like that where I live, and it's those are only $70 a month, 70. And I asked him, can I make a video in there? And he didn't even want me to make a video in there because he's like, it's too basic. He doesn't want to scare away expats, you know, that are looking, oh, that's way below my level. And it's like, you know, anyone can live there, but it's usually more the locals would take an apartment like that. And then the one I live in is very similar to the studio little house I'm talking about, but mine actually is just a little bigger, and there is a 1-bedroom inside, like a separate 1-bedroom. So I pay $130. It's only 20 more. Then my electricity last month, everything was $150. So my electricity was only $20. And if you feel like you want to help me out or support the channel, you can send a super thanks or the $ things below. Or I got links for the members section. There's extra videos showing what I'm eating, behind the scenes. You get, when I upload videos early, you get a sneak peek because the members can see them before they become public. And I've been doing this for like a year and a half, so there's over 200 videos like sitting there. So it's only $4.99. You could check the link below and then sign up, and you could binge all that stuff. And even if you just quit after 1 month, that's fine. I don't get insulted. I appreciate all the support, or, you know, hang on and stay with me if you want to keep being in the Tom Trips Out Army. I'm going to read the last few comments you guys made here. Yeah, John Paul's asking, did I meet expat dad in Cambodia? Not recently, but like a year and a half ago I met him. And he's actually from the same town I'm from. You know, I always say Toronto, but when I lived with my parents, it was actually the suburb of Toronto. It's called Mississauga. And this guy that you're talking about, expat dad Cambodia, he's actually from that neighborhood too. Like, so not only Toronto area, it's like my same little area that I was from outside of Toronto. Like, and like I used to be a car rental enterprise, and so did he. He was also working at Enterprise, so it's really weird. But I haven't seen him in a long time. God. There's people back there. They're trying to interrupt me and ask me for money. I'm like trying to make a video. Can you give us a typical English lesson? Well, you mean run down the structure? Like my classes were an hour, and it would be like a 2-page plan of, you plan out, you separate it by every 10 minutes because they have a, or sometimes you can, you know, and there's a structure to it. And at the very end, sometimes very common structures at the very end, everything you've done throughout that hour, it all builds to this one all-encompassing activity at the end. Okay, so we reviewed with this from last time, and we've added in this now, and I've also explained blah blah blah. So now get in groups of 2 and show me that, you know, show me that it sank in, and give me this, you know, and you give them an activity. And that final thing, that can be longer than 10 minutes because you're giving them time to work. But otherwise, when you're up there teaching, it's usually 10 minutes. Oh my God, that scared me. It's usually 10-minute bricks because they have short attention span. I don't know, you want a quick structure? Do you eat squid and prawns? I think it tastes disgusting. Smells disgusting. Yeah, I do. I like it. Looking forward to become 55. See you in Cambodia. Someone said this dog that went by chased them once. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, you want a teaching structure? Lesson plan structure? Well, you know, obviously everyone can do it their own way and all that stuff, and it depends what type of class and what unit you're in the book, and you would adapt your plan accordingly. So whatever structure I give you can't be like every single class, but it'll be a general idea, I guess, of a typical, like what one of my classes could be like, you know what I mean? And again, it's been like a year and a half since I've been teaching, but usually, and yet this might sound like, so you would start with attendance, and I know that sounds like, oh, you're gonna, but even on my lesson plan, I would plan for that because it takes 5 minutes, and then they're not, you're trying to get them to pay attention, and maybe someone's missing, and I have to find out, like, are they just in the hallway, or are they actually absent today, and you're trying to through it all, and because they take that, the attendance is really serious. Like, you have to keep track of who was there and all that stuff, because I guess it's the children's safety if someone's missing and all that. So the first 5 minutes would be like attendance and getting everyone in the room and all that. And then you usually, what would I do first? You always have to do a warm-up. Yeah, that's what you would do first. You do some kind of warm-up or a game, or you get them just to get their heads in the game. Okay, we're gonna do hangman now, and you on the board, and the words I'm choosing as like the secret word they're trying to guess is vocabulary from today's lesson, you know? And it might even be a word they don't know yet, but some of the smarter kids might know, or they might have heard it before, but they don't know what it means. And so they're still able to maybe get it, but it's something we're going to learn after that. And so you make the warm-up like kind of related to the rest of the lesson. And then when the warm-ups, so that's another 5 or 10 minutes, and then you should do like review the day before, and that can be real quick. So who can tell me, it's like just quick, raise your hand, who remembers, what, I don't know, I can't think of anything. You ask them a question of something they learned just the day before. Okay, and then follow-up question, that's right now, but what if it was like this, someone else, and yeah, that's right, and you kind of, and maybe you write it on the board so because some people, you learn this in learning styles, some people are auditory. So trashy to do that. Some people are auditory learners, some people are more visual learners, some people need to like hold it in their hands, and so I'll get to that later. I know I'm dragging this out too long. Attendance, warm up, review the day before. This is all just within 10, 15, like not even 15 minutes. Then to start today's lesson, what's good to do, they call it a lead-in. And so you can ask some thought-provoking question, or you describe a scenario to them that they can relate to. Be like, when you're playing video games and blah, 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 and you put it in a world that they can understand, and then be like, and that's when and then it comes to this point where you're like, that's called a lead-in. You're introducing today's topic with some kind of something they can relate to, or a story, or like, and then they all feel like, I'm with you, now that's what we're doing today, kind of thing. And then open your books and often you're following a textbook, so then in your plan you would just break up the parts the 2 or 3 pages in the textbook you have to get through. And that's it. And certain days would be reading days. That kind of lesson would be really easy because you're basically reading a big story, and your students are taking turns reading. And so you work your way through the book, and then at the end there's like an all-encompassing activity. And there should always be a mixture, and then all of a sudden in the middle, okay, everybody stand up and get in a circle, and because now you're doing something physical, and you throw around a big dice, or you learn these kind of things in the TEFL program. And then you can also incorporate multimedia. So there's like no excuse to not fill the time. It's like you're almost running out of time. Miss Balboni. Ben Newton is a live streamer from Australia. He is a complete nutcase, but makes like $1,000 in one day on a live. Someone said they saw him make $850 just drinking beer. Tell him to keep that horn down. We're trying to make a stream here. Yeah. Like, imagine all the people who live in all these upper things, and in this big hotel here and all that stuff. And he probably has one friend who's inside and taking too long in the bathroom or something. And he's directing it at his friend and not considering even for a second, not even a thought crosses his head that there could be someone else in this neighborhood, you know what I mean? And it's 7 a.m. Imagine if your Saturday was your only day to sleep in, and that's what you're hearing at 7 a.m. I guess it's closer to 8 a.m. now probably, or even after. Yeah, the most I ever made in a live stream, I think, was like 120 or something, but it's because one guy sent 100, so that really helped. It's usually nothing, or 20 bucks or less or something. Yeah, if you want to help support my channel, you could just become a member for 1 month and sign up and quit, and you'll have a month of, you can binge an extra 200 videos of food and places I've been and behind the scenes. And I used to do a morning walk every day in Phnom Penh. I would do it then. And so I think I'm gonna go eat breakfast now and get my day going. Thanks for watching the stream. Go check out the rest of my channel. There's actual proper videos I make with, you know, music and a real camera and information topics. It's not just me wandering around talking like this. I do this once or twice a week on my phone, like this right now, just to connect with you guys in real time, you know, and answer you face to face and stuff. Well, face to chat. So, you know, press the normal subscribe at least and go explore all my videos. I have like 4 years of videos there. Yeah, Big Earth Travel says, usually degenerate streams make more money, but those guys have zero reputation to protect. Yeah, I'm going for long term, and I want to eventually have sponsorships and you know, I want to be a brand that brands can stand beside or behind, and I'm not making them look bad, or you know what I mean? So I know I get lots of requests to do like lady bars and prostitute things, and I'm not going to put that on my channel. And I've never even been to those places, not even once. So. Anyways, I'm going to end it off here. Thanks for watching. And until next time, remember, how you spend your days is the way you spend your life. It's never too late to start tripping out.